What happens to your brain when you're scrolling through social media? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what happens, and it's probably worse than you actually think. So let's get straight into it. In this video, you're going to learn two things: what doom scrolling does to your brain and how to stop scrolling, or specifically how I have managed to stop scrolling. And this is just some evidence to show you that I have actually achieved this. This is my average daily screen time. And you might think, well, 2 hours and 22 minutes isn't actually that low. But if you look at the apps that I'm actually using, you can see that YouTube, there's 1 hour and 13 minutes on average there. And my camera app is 1 hour and 10 minutes a day on average. So basically what that means is I'm watching podcasts when I'm at the gym, because when I go do cardio at the gym, I have the YouTube app open on my phone and I'm usually just watching some educational video. And the camera app is, as you've probably guessed by now, is what I'm using for my actual camera to record videos for this YouTube channel. This is what I was like back when I had social media. Just a guy who would post random shit like this on Snapchat. Officially work at Mackey's now. I've never worked at McDonald's in my life, mate. I'm putting random bullshit on my story. This is like a Snapchat filter where you put a pigeon on. Look how puffy my face is, man. But what's happening to me now? Well, I quit social media in July of 2023. And now I spend most of my time recording myself in my room, trying to help guys to do the same thing. I go traveling, right? I love going on holiday with my friends. Here's a picture of me and my mates. Like, we went to this gun range in Krakow. That was fun. Again, no social media on these holidays. I'm just creating good memories. Obviously, there's some photos and stuff like that. I go to the gym. I've been working on my body. Next month, or in 2 weeks, I should say, I am moving from the UK to Thailand to have an amazing time, focus on becoming a content creator, focus on chasing my dream of being able to make money online and have that location and time freedom. And I'm telling you, a lot of the reasons that I managed to get to this point in life where I can move country and make money online and leave my job is because I quit scrolling on social media. So what does it do to your brain? Well, let's break it down into 4 phases. And firstly, I'm going to talk about phase 1. So phase 1 starts off with a dopamine surge. When you first discover social media, you will have a big spike in dopamine. And there's going to be a theme in this video in terms of the effect that social media and scrolling is having on your brain. And a lot of it has to do with dopamine and how dopamine works. So you'll get a big dopamine surge when you first go onto social media. You're going to have an increase in a part of your brain which is called the amygdala. And the amygdala, which I'll talk about more in a later phase, phase 3, is a part of your brain that is responsible for fear, anxiety, and emotional responses. And in phase 1, this causes a positive feedback loop where the social validation that kicks in from the likes and the shares and the comments and all of the enjoyment that you have on social media, watching funny memes and seeing your favorite influencer achieve something, that creates a positive feedback loop where it releases more dopamine, which then activates your emotional response even more. And it's this positive feedback loop that is going to grow into phase 2, where things get slightly worse. So phase 2, which is here, is where the routine scrolling begins. This is where you start to become a little bit more impulsive, and scrolling becomes a regular part of the day. When you're going for a shit, when you're going for a walk outside in nature, you're still on your phone. You see so many people these days, like when I go for a walk, who are my age. They walk past me and they don't even look up and smile or anything. They just walk past you, and everyone is like this with their neck curled, looking down at their phone, which is going to lead to a whole other bunch of problems like posture issues. But the routine scrolling begins. Every available opportunity in the day gets taken up by scrolling. The cognitive overload sets in. This is where your brain can't keep up with the amount of information that is being put into your head from the news, from influencers, memes, and viral reels. Everything that you see on social media, your brain has to do an operation called context switching. And context switching is where, even if you just see a video, that only lasts for like 2 seconds. You know, you scroll on it and then you scroll straight past it again. Well, you might think that you haven't really paid attention to that video, but your brain in the background, your kind of subconscious, has had to analyze that, like that snapshot of a video, and switch from the video that we were just watching to the new video, which has new characters in it. It's in a new location. The story's different. What's this video about? Where are we? Why am I watching this video? Your brain has to run through a bunch of operations. They happen super fast in your brain, but your brain has to do this so many times on TikTok and Instagram so fast that your brain can't keep up with all the different context that's being put into your brain. And the best way you can see if you're at phase 2 or if you're past phase 2 is just ask yourself, what was the last reel that you watched? So just ask yourself that question and see if you might be cognitively overloading yourself. And the last thing that happens in phase 2 is FOMO sets in. So you start seeing your friends' Snapchat stories, you start seeing your mates out on Instagram, you start seeing influencers out, and you kind of start developing this parasocial relationship with people that you don't even know on social media, and you get this fear that you're missing out, that you're not quite involved or something like that. Like your brain starts to confuse the stuff you're seeing on social media almost like you're a part of that person's journey, and that's when FOMO kicks in. Phase 3. Phase 3 starts off with dopamine again, and this is the dopamine dysregulation part of social media addiction. And this is where normal everyday things just aren't fun anymore. So this happened with me where I got really into the gym. I got really passionate about the gym when I was about 18 years old. And there was one particular day where I got home from work. I'd been at work for, maybe 8 hours. I got into my house, I came upstairs, I got into my room, and it was leg day and I needed to go train legs. And instead of just getting my gym clothes on straight away and going to the gym and just getting it done, that thing that I was passionate about, I was really getting into the gym, I had this impulse where I just got my phone out and I started scrolling. I was sat on my bed right here and I started scrolling through my phone. And before you knew it, like an hour went by. And I remember this day specifically because I started thinking to myself, well, the gym's going to be busy now because I got home at like 4:30 and now it's 5:30, and 5 o'clock is when the gym starts to really get busy. And that pissed me off. Like I remember thinking to myself, I'm supposed to be at the gym right now. I could have finished my workout already. The workout only takes like 45 minutes to an hour, and I've sat down and I've just gone through my phone instead. That's because of this dopamine dysregulation effect where I was finding social media more fun than everyday things in life. Like I wasn't motivated enough to go to the gym, which I used to find fun because I would rather have sat on my bed watching social media. But that made me angry. Like it literally made me physically angry at myself, like so disappointed that I'd skipped a workout when I've been on self-improvement. I've been feeling good about my progress, and I skipped this workout because I just got glued to scrolling through my phone. And this is the problem when you have these fucked up dopamine levels, this dopamine dysregulation. It means that you start having no impulse control and you just go to whatever your brain is craving at that time. And back to the amygdala again, in phase 3, you're going to start to have this hyperactive amygdala, and you're going to start to develop social anxiety. You're going to start to feel anxious and not really comfortable with yourself, especially when you're seeing influencers who have got 6-packs. You're seeing these guys who are driving around in the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis, and they're like 2 years older than you, and you're thinking that I need to be at that point because you keep getting blasted with this on social media, and your emotional response to this becomes more and more intense in the amygdala, and it just fucks up your emotions. I want you to think of a recent example of this. I don't know if you've heard of this anglerfish video. I think it was viral like a few weeks ago. It's not really anymore, but there was this like anglerfish that came down from the depths of the ocean and it swam up to the surface to see the sunlight. And in doing so, it died. And everyone was like really sad about it. And everyone's like this outcry on social media of people who are just very saddened by this video. This is a prime example of people's mental state, really. Like we have this race of humans which are crying about an anglerfish that swam up from the depths of the ocean and went to the surface. Like, okay, maybe you find that sad, but do you not think that might be a bit of a hyperactive emotional response to something that is, 1, completely out of your control, 2, probably happens all the time in nature, like fish die, right? Who gives a fuck? I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but like, Do you think maybe if you're genuinely feeling quite emotional or sad about an anglerfish dying in the sea, that maybe your amygdala is fucked and you maybe need to take a step back from social media, like, oh, my day has been ruined because I saw a video of a fish dying. And then phase 4, the ADHD sets in, the impulsive behavior really starts to pick up, where you just pick up your phone at every single opportunity. You're like me when you wanted to go to the gym, but you were instead on your phone and you didn't even realize you were on your phone, and then you kind of wake up from the trance that you're in when you're sat on your phone and you have wasted an hour of the day. That's that impulsive, autistic ADHD behavior coming in, where you just can't seem to focus or have any control over your actions. You have this impulse control issue. Another thing that happens in phase 4 is a continuous stream of negativity. So the news or negative things that you just see are like fights and stuff and just random bullshit that like you might not realize right now until you look back after you quit social media, like I have. But you look back at some of the things that are on there and you're like, it's very negative, and like comments, or maybe you post something and people are negatively commenting, like just even from me posting on this YouTube channel, some of the comments that I get when I'm just trying to help people, you know, like trying to give advice and help people, and you get really negative comments. And it just makes me think like, holy shit, if this was on Instagram or TikTok, it's probably worse, right? And if you're having that constant stream of negativity in your life, that just fucks up your mental health even more. And what is the last thing that happens that scientists have seen? We've seen a reduction in what's called gray matter. And I'm not going to go too scientific into this, but the reduction in gray matter in your brain after long-term usage of social media is basically associated with a lack of intelligence. And that's not me saying that you're a stupid like person. I'm just being honest. This is what the science literally shows us. You can go look up this. There's studies on this, and it links to things like impulse control or memory and forgetfulness, like your sort of memories and the information that your brain has. Think of the gray matter kind of like the hard drive in your computer or the storage on your phone, like a reduction in the storage capacity in your brain. It's just an overall negative, just a worse brain that just doesn't function as well. And that is something that has literally scientifically been studied for your brain to actually decrease in size based on social media usage, like physical destruction of brain cells essentially. And that for me is the one thing that like scares me the most, is like, oh, you use social media for a long time and you actually have your brain deteriorates faster than someone who isn't using social media. So how did I get out of this cycle for a start? Well, the main thing that helped me the most was I found a mission that I could work on. Because social media addiction really only comes from one thing, and that is boredom. You have too much time on your hands, mate. You need time to kill. And in order to avoid having parts of your day where you are bored, you need to fill those voids in your day with work. So what are the two things I did? This YouTube channel and the gym. Simple. Just keep it simple. You don't need to do any insane shit. Just work on your fitness, have a goal, right? I want to build muscle, so that means you're going to have to go to the gym. I want to lose fat, that means you're going to have to do cardio. I want to eat healthily, that means you're going to have to cook and eat healthy foods. And YouTube, that means you're going to have to script videos, it means you're going to have to record videos, it means you're going to have to create thumbnails and upload videos, and then learn from other YouTubers how to get better at YouTube. And when I put these two missions into my life and basically just started on these two things, that is what eventually led to me not using social media and then deleting the apps from my phone. And now I haven't scrolled social media in over 600 days. And in that time, I have been able to quit my job and basically buy one-way tickets to Thailand, save up about 4 or 5 grand to spend for about 3 or 4 months whilst I'm in Thailand, build this YouTube channel, build up my physique. You know, I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. I'm getting better and better. And ultimately, I'm just at the best point I've ever been at in my life. And that is mainly because I deleted social media. I'm confident that if I had stayed on social media, if I had stayed in this trap, if I had stayed with these negative brain effects that I've talked you through in this video, I do not think I would have been capable of leaving this cycle that I've been trapped in. And I mean, I have evidence of that working right here. Look at the screen time. If you go to your screen time right now on your phone, it might be similar to my screen time, but I guarantee that those top two apps are probably like Instagram and TikTok or Snapchat or something. Whereas if you look at mine, it's just YouTube for the podcast. That's the upskilling part of it, right? Learning how to get better on YouTube. And then the camera, just recording the content. So I think if you can get your screen time and app usage to a similar situation that mine's in, you're going to be in a way better situation because you're starting to use your phone as a tool that can help you into the future. But that is a topic for another video. So that is pretty much the advice that I had for you in this video, mate. I hope that has been a bit of a wake-up call. Perhaps you've learned something that could help you or maybe convince you to get off social media. If you do want to join a community that I am building with just people in there that are kind of hell-bent on going against the algorithm and getting off social media, I've got a top link in the description. It's a school community. Go and check it out. It's totally free to join that community, but it is going to be paid soon. So let me know what you think of that. And then also, I'd really appreciate it if you left some feedback in the comments of this video. Constructive feedback, right? I'm always looking to improve the advice that I give on these videos, and I hope that video was helpful for you. Okay, mate, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.